Ever wonder why so many business mentorship programs fail? It's a shocking statistic, but a huge number of them just don't deliver the results they promise. We're often told that finding a mentor is the key to unlocking success, the secret sauce to avoiding common pitfalls. But what if that advice is flawed? What if the very model of traditional mentorship is broken? Today, we're going to dive deep into why this happens, and more importantly, introduce a powerful alternative that could completely change how you approach your business growth. Stick around, because this isn't about finding another guru. It's about becoming your own. Let's get real about why conventional mentorship often falls flat. You find a mentor, someone you admire, someone who's made it. You're excited. You're ready to soak up their wisdom. But what do you usually get? You get their story, their specific journey, their unique set of circumstances, their personal biases. The advice is often generic, like work harder, build a great team, or focus on your customers. While none of that is bad advice, it's surface level. It doesn't address the root cause of your specific problems. It's like a doctor prescribing the same pill for every single patient, regardless of their symptoms. The mentor tells you what worked for them, but they rarely have the time or the insight to diagnose what's actually holding you back. This mismatch between generic advice and your unique challenges is the number one reason mentorship fails. You end up trying to copy someone else's blueprint, which was never designed for your building. So if copying a mentor's path is a recipe for frustration, what's the alternative? It's a concept I call reverse engineering success. Instead of following one person's story, you become a detective. You look at dozens, even hundreds of successful businesses, not just in your industry, but across different fields. You're not looking to copy their tactics. You're looking for the underlying patterns, the core principles that are universally true. Think about it. What do a successful coffee shop, a billion-dollar tech company, and a freelance artist with a waiting list all have in common? It's not the product, it's the principles. Principles like an obsessive understanding of their customer, an irresistible offer, and a system for consistent delivery. Reverse engineering is the process of deconstructing success to find these hidden principles and then adapting them to your own unique business. It's about understanding the why behind their success, not just the what. So, how do we actually do this? Let's break it down into actionable steps. First, identify your target, who is succeeding in a way you admire. Don't limit yourself. Look at leaders in marketing, in operations and customer service, even in totally unrelated industries. The second step is to dissect their success. How do they get customers? What does their marketing funnel look like? How do they talk to their audience? What is the core value they provide that people can't get enough of? Go deep. Read their interviews. Analyze their websites. Sign up for their newsletters. Become a customer if you can. Your goal is to map out their entire business model. The third and most crucial step is to identify the principles. As you analyze different businesses, you'll start to see themes emerge. Maybe you notice that all of them have an incredibly simple and clear pricing structure, or perhaps they all use a specific type of storytelling in their ads. These are the principles. You're not copying their exact pricing or their exact story. You're re-extracting the principle. Simplicity in pricing reduces friction, or emotional storytelling drives connection. Finally, you adapt these principles to your own context. How can you simplify your pricing? How can you inject more emotional storytelling into your brand? This is where your creativity and unique business knowledge come into play. You're not cloning, you're creating, using proven principles as your guide. Let's look at a real-world example. Imagine you run a small, local bakery. You're struggling to stand out. Traditional advice might be to run some Facebook ads or hand out flyers. It might work, it might not. Now, let's use reverse engineering. You start studying businesses known for building incredible communities. You look at brands like Lululemon, which builds community through events and brand ambassadors. You look at a local gaming store that hosts weekly tournaments. You even look at a popular online forum for a specific hobby. What's the principle? It's not run events. The principle is create a space, physical or digital, where people with a shared interest can connect with each other, with your brand at the center. Now, you adapt that to your bakery. You're not going to start selling yoga pants, but maybe you could host a monthly baking for beginners workshop or a sourdough starters club where people can trade tips and starters. Or you could partner with a local coffee roaster for a perfect pairing tasting event. See the difference? You're not just copying a tactic. You're applying a deep, universal principle of community building to your specific situation. This leads to far more creative and effective solutions that feel authentic to your brand. Let's take another example. Say you're a freelance web designer and you're tired of competing on price. You're stuck in a race to the bottom. Reverse engineering time. You start studying high-end consulting firms, luxury brands, and premium service providers. What do they do? You notice they don't list a menu of services with prices. Instead, their process starts with a deep diagnostic. A consulting firm does a thorough audit before proposing a solution. A luxury tailor takes dozens of measurements and has multiple fittings. The principle here is demonstrate deep expertise and create a bespoke solution through a diagnostic process before ever talking about price. So, how do you adapt this? Instead of sending a price list, you offer a website conversion audit. You create a detailed, valuable report for potential clients, showing them exactly where their current site is failing and the opportunities they're missing. You're giving them immense value for free, right up front. This positions you as an expert, not a commodity. It completely reframes the conversation from how much does a website cost to how can you help me solve my business problem. You've used a principle from top-tier consulting and applied it to your freelance business, allowing you to command higher prices and attract better clients. The beauty of this approach is that it puts you in the driver's seat. You're no longer passively waiting for a mentor to give you the answers. You are actively seeking out knowledge, dissecting success, and building your own toolkit of proven principles. This method trains you to see the world differently. You start recognizing patterns everywhere. You look at a successful marketing campaign, and you don't just see a clever ad. You see the underlying psychological triggers and frameworks at play. This turns the entire world into your classroom and every successful business into a potential teacher. It's a much more sustainable and empowering way to learn and grow. You're not just getting a fish. You're learning how to fish. This skill of pattern recognition and principle adaptation is far more valuable than any single piece of advice a mentor could ever give you. It's a meta skill that will serve you for your entire entrepreneurial journey. So, let's wrap this up. Traditional business mentorship is often a gamble. It relies on finding the perfect person who can somehow diagnose your unique problems and offer a tailored solution, which is incredibly rare. The advice is usually generic and based on their personal, often unrepeatable, journey. The reverse engineering approach, on the other hand, is a system. It's a reliable, self-guided process for learning. By deconstructing what works across a wide range of successes, you uncover the fundamental principles, the timeless truths of business. Then, you can creatively apply these principles to your own situation, generating solutions that are both innovative and effective. This empowers you to solve your own problems and builds a deep, intuitive understanding of what truly drives growth. So I challenge you, for the next week, instead of looking for a mentor, look for a pattern. Pick a successful business you admire and start dissecting. What are the core principles behind their success? How can you adapt one of those principles to your own work? It's time to stop looking for a map and start learning how to read the terrain. Thanks for watching. If this idea of reverse engineering success resonates with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more content that challenges conventional wisdom. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever tried something like this? What's one business you'd love to reverse engineer? Let's discuss. See you in the next one.